More than 25 budding shearers will learn the trick of the trade this week during 2 Australian Wool Innovation shearing and wool handling courses at Parkdale, Dubbo. International champions of the sport were on deck to offer advice and expertise, including current Australian champion Daniel McIntyre from Glen Innes and current New Zealand Golden Shears champion Gavin Mutch from New Zealand. The two-day workshops provide young shearers with initial training before entering the workforce.
Well, the wool industry really, it's very important that we have these sorts of workshops, maintaining the training that these young fellas have received from before they could even shear a sheep. They've all been to some form of training, whether it's been state funded, federally funded or funded by AWI. And they get that initial start there, they get out into the workforce, and like any good sportsman, and that's what these guys really are, the top competition shearers are dead set athletes. These young guys coming through, they're like young footballers, and you've got to maintain that coaching to make sure that they're maintaining their gear properly, keeping the right posture, looking after their bodies, because you've got to remember when these guys are working flat out in the shed Monday to Friday when they're practicing, they can actually expel as much energy as a marathon runner running one marathon, but they're doing it 4 times a day, 5 days a week, and that's just so they can get ready to compete on the weekend. And we want to do everything we can to foster that professionalism mentality right through the industry, and by running these short 2-day workshops is probably one of the best ways that we can get absolute value for the wool growers of Australia, by getting the young guys in that really want to learn and really want to improve themselves. These sorts of workshops have been run for many years. This is the first time we've run this style of workshop on this property, which is Parkdale between Gilgandra and Dubbo. And the Mutch family, they're great supporters of anything to do with the industry. They supply all the sheep for Dubbo show. They're quite happy to run schools like this out here. They've even had an all-female team working out here for a breast cancer awareness thing a few years ago. And if we can help out the growers by running these workshops, because everything these young guys learn here on this property, well, they're going to take to every other property they go and work in for the rest of the year.
I guess it's a job they're doing on the sheep, and plus the wool. You've got to shear the sheep without damaging their skin and their skin value and their legs. Like they've got to be able to walk around to eat. So,
yeah.
And then you don't want to be damaging the wool with second cuts, chopping the staple in half and stuff like that.
Yeah, just good, keen attitude and willingness to learn is the main thing, which you can't really teach anybody. But then they have to be willing to listen too, so so you can train somebody to get to the next level.
Looking for people who can do the job to a high standard with cleanliness of shearing, so less second cuts and body cuts on the sheep, and just being professional about their job, which these shearing schools provide a lot of training in those 3 main areas to really help the shearing teams out when they come to the shed to do your normal shearing.
That'll do, Mike. That'll do.